Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Izzy. I had spinal fusion back in March to correct my scoliosis, and I started with Instagram and I documented all my journey, and I still document my journey. So if you want that link, I will link it in the description box. Here on YouTube, I just make videos for fun to help you guys out with any of your journeys. So today's video is going to be scoliosis assumptions. This I put in my story a while ago asking you guys for assumptions that you've heard or that you have about scoliosis, and I will be talking and answering those assumptions. Assumption number one is people have assumed that I caused my scoliosis or I got it from bad posture. So you cannot give yourself, or nothing can really cause scoliosis except for like it can be hereditary, or there's like different types of it, but you cannot like force yourself into having it or like give it to yourself mentally. So that assumption is, I guess, false. It does give you bad posture, but it's not caused by bad posture. Alright, assumption number two is that once you are done growing, your curve will stop progressing even if it's severe. So that is false because my mom has scoliosis, and they told her when she was 14, she wore a brace until then, and they told her that it would stop getting worse, and she still has a lot of back pain, and we think it's gotten worse. So just because doctors say it hasn't gotten worse or won't get worse doesn't mean it won't. I get a lot of adults that tell me that their curves are worse and doctors said it wouldn't. I get kids that message me and are saying, I'm 10, 11, 12. I'm wondering if my curve's gonna get worse, and it definitely will, especially if you're under like 20 when you're still growing and stuff. The next assumption is, I've heard someone say that they thought a brace would fix their curve. So bracing isn't to fix curves, it's to prevent them from getting worse. So if you have a 30-degree curve, it's not going to like fix it, it's not going to make it go down to zero. Yes, they can help. They can definitely make them go down 10 degrees, 5 degrees, anywhere like that. But it's not going to fix a 60-degree curve. It's just, that's not what they're meant to do. And if they did, I don't think many people would have surgery. I bet everybody would just go to bracing. So bracing is mainly just to prevent it from getting worse, not to fix it. People assume we don't have scoliosis or anything wrong with us because they cannot see it. So that is definitely something that, I mean, I get it, because if you can't see it, how are you supposed to know there's anything wrong with them? But a lot of people then will say they have it, and people will think they're faking because they can't see it. I get that a lot on my Instagram. People will DM me and say people don't believe them, or, you know, family members, friends. Anybody just doesn't believe them because they can't see it. The next assumption is that only preteens or teens have scoliosis. So that kind of goes back on the assumption of it will never get worse. Everybody can have scoliosis no matter what age or gender you are. It's more like common in girls, so less boys have it, a lot more girls have it, but boys can have it. It is more common in teens or preteens because that is when we are growing, but adults can have it, young kids can have it, anybody of any age or any gender can have it. The next assumption, which I've gotten a lot on here, is, isn't scoliosis just a curve in your spine? So that one is kind of an assumption, but also just annoying, because yes, it technically is just a curve in your spine, but it's also so much more than that, because, you know, there's pain, there's physical therapy, bracing, surgery, all these things, so it's definitely a lot more than just a curve in your spine. I heard this assumption that there is no way to stop your curve from getting bigger. So that also goes back to the bracing, which is to prevent it, surgery, which would hopefully stop your curve from getting worse, so there's spinal fusion or VBT, and both of those are going to correct your scoliosis. Scoliosis cannot be cured, but it can be like fixed, I guess. Okay, so my next assumption is braces are not painful. So braces are very hard to get used to for most people. It's obviously different for everybody, but for me, my Providence brace, which was a nighttime brace, was really pretty easy to get used to, but I was also 5, so 5-year-olds are weird, and I don't know, I would wear it to school and I just had to wear it to sleep and stuff, so I'm not sure. But when I was like 10 or so, I got moved into a Boston brace, which is like an all day and night brace, and I could not get used to that brace at all. So they are definitely not easy to get used to, and they definitely are painful at first, and then it does get a little bit easier as you get used to it, but you have to get used to it first. And then another one is that it's easy to sleep in back braces, or it's easy to sleep with rods in your spine. So with the back bracing, again, there's Providence braces, and then there's like Boston braces and a bunch of other different types. And most braces you have to sleep in, but some braces you only have to wear at night. They are definitely not easy to sleep in. They get really hot because, well, number one, you probably wear a tank top under it to help it like not rub on your skin weird, and that's like an extra layer of warmth. And then your brace on top of that, which is just this big plastic thing. I mean, it's hard, like it'll mush into your hips, you'll roll around, and it's just not fun. And then with the rods, at first it's weird just because it's not even necessarily the rods that are weird, it's just at first when you've had surgery it's painful, so it's just hard to get comfortable. But after that it just becomes, you again, so it's not really hard. Okay, and then in addition to the tank tops, you're probably thinking, why sleep in tank tops? And it's not hot, but this is my old tank top from when I was like 5 and had my Providence brace. It is very thick. It's like a cloth. Like, it's super thick and it's weird. It's definitely hot. So these are what they look like. They are seamless, and then they go like under your armpit so it doesn't rub on you weird. So they are definitely hot. Next assumption is scoliosis makes you more flexible. So I don't think it makes you more flexible. Now, I do get if your curve goes one way, you might be more flexible that way just because you're already leaning that way, whereas it probably makes you less flexible if your curve is leaning the opposite way as you're trying to, be flexible. So I don't think it makes you less or more flexible either way. And the next and last assumption is that scoliosis makes you shorter. So it does make you shorter if your curves are worse. Now, if you have a small curve, I don't really think it makes you that much shorter. But if you have a bigger curve and then get surgery, it does make you a lot taller because your curve was like this and then your spine gets straightened out, so it makes you taller. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to answer some assumptions that made me kind of laugh or question why people would even think that. So thank you for submitting an assumption, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you can know when my next videos are uploaded. Bye guys!